Hey everybody, TTM Troy here from TTMautograph.com, coming to you with a Tuesday TTM tips from TTM Troy. See that 5 times fast. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about sending 8x10 photos through the mail for autographs. I know some of these tips are old hat to many of you, but there are always new people coming into the hobby. So I wanted to start doing these tips and show you how I do TTMs. And hopefully that will let some new people know the best way to send out for autographs, and maybe even give the old timers a couple of tips as well. So basically, I just hit the tripod. So here are my basic supplies. Now, I'm gonna put this over here right now. So for envelopes, excuse me, come here. Okay, that's gonna be. So for envelopes, I go to Staples and I buy a 100 count box of both 9x12 white envelopes and 10x13 envelopes. Now I do that so I could put these in flat. So I will show you this in a little bit, but this will actually go right inside of the 10x13 envelope. Now you could also use 2 9x12 envelopes and just fold it like that and stick one inside the other. But I like to keep everything nice and simple, and this works well for me. So here is my nice letter of request. Date is today. To celebrity, you are awesome. I guess it says celebrity. You are awesome, Troy. And the photo I'm going to just demonstrate with you is the 1984-1985 Iowa State men's basketball team, signed by most of the team. Here we have Jeff Hornacek, who is now an NBA coach. Barry Stevens, who sadly passed away. He was also on the Golden State Warriors at one time. Johnny Orr needs no introduction, I hope. Jeff Greer, who was also on the Warriors, I believe, and NBA. And other people, Jim Hallahan, a coach, and some other players as well. So this is just one that I had laying around, so I'm going to use that as my example. So as far as your self-addressed stamped envelope goes, this is the one that I'm going to use as a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'm going to put my return address up here, and I'm also going to put the return address down here. Now, and so I'll just go ahead and put that on here just because I could use this. Okay. Now something to consider right now is you see this flap on the back of the envelope. Now if you're using manila envelopes or craft envelopes, that'll have a little clasp on there. And that's one of the reasons I like the white ones, is because that metal clasp isn't there. But you'll see how I made it so the postage will go here and there's no flap. The flap is on the left-hand side, and that's just so if it does go through metered postage like that, it won't get caught up. And so I always try to put the flap to the left, if that makes any sense. So that's my self-addressed envelope. Now for stamps, I go to the kiosk and I actually get these guys. They're $1.50 stamps, as you can see. Now I got these in March of 2016. I haven't used them yet. Technically, the package I'm going to show you here would only cost about $1.40 to send and to receive. But depending on the weight of the cardboard that you send as reinforcement, that could go up a little bit. So I just always use $1.50 when I'm sending 8x10s. It makes it so much easier. Yeah, you might be overspending a little bit, but if you have 2 photographs and heavier cardboard, you don't want it to come postage due. So I'm just going to take this guy, and this is another reason to put the flap to the left, because if you put this on here and fold it over, if you were to put it over here like this, you'd be folding it over the flap, and that would be bad, wouldn't it? So that is my self-addressed stamped envelope. Now some people put the celebrity's name up at the top, but I always put my return address on both the return address and the sender. Your mileage may vary on that. That's just what I do. Also, some people write a little note like who it's from. Completely up to you. So what I do then is I go ahead and I put my return address up here at the top of this bigger envelope, and I write the celebrity's name down there. Put my stamp up here. I could just do that because I'm going to use this sooner or later. Dun, 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 and that way we know which way is which. So go ahead and put that on there like that. So we have our photo, we have our letter of request, right? And this is a magazine backing board. It's you see these a lot for comics, but they also make them in 8.5 by 11 sheets. I use this because it's a lot easier for me to find than regular cardboard. And when it comes back, I could reuse it, or I could put it in my album as well, since it's acid free. So I use this. So let me show you how I assemble my 8x10 TTMs. So first, I'm going to take the self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'm going to write on the back, do not bend. And I actually have a little stamp here, so I'm just gonna put that. I wish the stamp was a little bigger, and so I put 3 on there, but you could buy these on Amazon. You could go to my website, ttmautograph.com, and I'll link you to some do not bend stamps. You can't really find them in Staples very often. So anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my main envelope, turn it over, and you see the flap here. And I'm actually going to put this in to the envelope with this flap opposite. So you see this is going in that way, and you'll see why in a second. So I put this in here just like that. So now it is inside the envelope. And then what I do is I go ahead and put the photo face down inside there. So it's basically setting, and I could pull this out and show you. It's actually setting right inside of the envelope, just like that, okay? And then I take my letter of request and I put that right on top of there and put it under the flap. Now, one thing I didn't show you is I'll actually take the backing board and put it inside of the return envelope. That's so they don't have to actually mess with putting the cardboard inside. So once that's in there, then we put the photo face down. Then we put the letter of request on top, and that's going to protect it as much as it can be protected. Then you slide that guy in there like that. Put a couple more do not bend thingies on there, and you're pretty much, once you seal that, good to go. And you can take these and just throw them away. You can line the bird cage with them, although that'd be kind of messy. But that is how I package my 8x10s. They come back pretty well secure, and sometimes they even, the celebrities even add additional cardboard, but $1.50 if you're sending from the US to the US, you should be good for 2 or 3 photos if you send that many at a time. As I said, I just like sending that or setting the stamps at $1.50, going to the post office and printing out 10 of them at a time. So anyway, hope you enjoyed today's TTM tip. If you did, please like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to try to do these TTM tips every Tuesday, so make sure you come back on Tuesdays to see new videos. And everybody else, thank you again, and we'll talk to you later. And we'll keep hoping for, you guessed it, that giant mail day. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.